afternoon and welcome to ManKind. So now today I want to acknowledge my fellow men out there who are watching right now and are silently suffering. This month is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and trust me, I get it. This conversation is very, very daunting. The hardest thing you can do as a man in today's age isn't have a punch up outside Spoons on a Friday night. It's taking the time and courage to say exactly how you feel. It's drilled into boys from such a young age that you must be tough, strong and masculine. Why? Are we not allowed to feel sad, lonely and vulnerable? When I speak to some of my mates who say crying means you're weak, I say surely it's the other way around, no? Ignoring your feelings shows you're weak because you're too scared to deal with them. If you accept that you need help and support, that is what makes you strong. Now, here to speak about that later is therapist Rhonda, but before I get to that, I thought it'd be useful to see why we need a whole month dedicated to men's mental health awareness, just because of how undertaught and how underspoken about it is. Men's mental health is much more likely to be impacted by external factors such as financial worries, the pressure to provide for a family, as well as the pre-existing stereotype on what men's bodies should look like to fit the masculine ideals. Boys are also impacted by similar external factors that cause behavioural issues. These explain the higher school exclusion rates for boys compared to girls and their academic underperformance. To highlight why all of this is relevant to this programme and show you exactly why we need this month, I interviewed several students at Bournemouth University and asked them some questions about this topic. Today I'm here at Bournemouth University asking the students some very important questions about men's mental health. So first of all, loving the tash, absolutely brilliant. You're participating in Movember, I assume? Yeah? How long have you been doing it for? Is this your first year?
No, I did it last year as well.
Oh, nice. Nice. Can you guess roughly how many men participate in Movember?
Around the world or in the UK?
In the UK alone?
UK. I want to say in the millions maybe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, close.
Sure. Yeah.
Guess any number.
2 million.
6 million.
6 million.
6 million men participate in Movember. Can you tell us a little bit of what Movember is about?
Yeah, so I think men's mental health is a topic that is not really widely covered, or when it is, it's kind of like disregarded a little bit, and I think it's one that is like, it affects everyone, so that's why it's important to spread awareness about it, and it's just a small thing to do as well, so that's why anyone can do it.
Absolutely. So from 2023 to 2024, how many men do you think actually sought mental health advice on the NHS?
I imagine not many, because I know that men often struggle to talk about mental health and things, so I imagine the number would be lower than we'd want it to be.
If you were to give a rough guess?
I'd say maybe like a few, like 500,000.
It was 200,000, only 200,000 men in 1 year.
That's less than I was expecting, to be honest.
Exactly. How many men out of 8 experience depression at some point in their lives?
6?
1.
Oh.
That's because it's so underreported, only 1 man out of the 8 will come forward. Same question, but about anxiety. How many out of 5?
2?
It's 1. Again, so underreported. And to the both of you, can you guess the 3 leading things that men do to self-medicate their depression?
I'm going to guess alcohol,
That's
drugs,
number 1.
and cigarettes. I would say the same, yeah.
Alcohol, drugs, cigarettes?
Yeah.
It's alcohol, drugs, and overworking.
Okay, yeah.
So, finish my sentence. Suicide is the leading cause of death in men under...
25.
A bit higher.
27.
In the 40s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In the 40s? Wow. Okay. I didn't know that, and I do quite a lot of work in mental health.
Really?
So yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah. It's 45.
Wow.
Suicide is the leading cause of death in men under 45. How does that make you feel hearing that?
I think it's interesting because it's a much wider demographic than I anticipated, and I guess there's loads of different people with different lived experience within that category. So you would have people who are students, but people who are working population, people who would be unemployed. Like, it's a massive kind of field, isn't it? Yeah, really interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Post-pandemic, NHS referrals for mental health soared. Do you know by what percentage it soared?
Like 2%. I wasn't that bad.
2%?
Yeah, 2%, no?
It raised by 40%.
No, it didn't.
40%.
You're joking.
Nope.
Ah,
So, Buster, I'm assuming you know who Andrew Tate is.
Yeah, I'm aware of him. Yeah, that's
Yeah?
right.
Now, loads of men say that they have been affected by what content he was posting regularly a few years ago. Do you know how many subscribers he had across YouTube and Instagram?
Across YouTube and Instagram, I'd say far too much. Probably like it's
Yeah.
probably like 10 million, maybe. I want to.
Across both, so about 4 million.
10 million subscribers across Instagram and YouTube.
That's quite disgusting.
I know.
I'm sickened. Like genuinely.
The amount of men who actually admit that they were influenced by him is a lot higher.
Yeah, definitely. I know a lot of people that have watched his stuff, but yeah, I can imagine they wouldn't actually go as far as to subscribing to him or something. Yeah.
What do you think the government can do to help young boys who are affected by people like Andrew Tate?
I think there needs to be more resources in schools. There needs to be, and there already are things in place, but the PHSE curriculum has not been reformed since a few years ago, and since then it wasn't reformed since 2002, I think it was, or the late 90s. There needs to be more regular reform because we're in an ever-changing society, technology's evolving, the curriculum needs to evolve as quickly, and beyond that there needs to be resources to access really quickly and anonymously, but there also needs to be removed this stigma of not looking cool for seeking help and saying my friends are looking at this online and I think it's wrong, and there also needs to be a removal of the stigma of calling out, or like men calling their friends out on things that they think are wrong.
I think it's more about, I guess, just about pointing them in the right direction, like showing them rather, because he's obviously a bad example of, you know, masculinity. Show him like, you know, better guidance of who to look towards, rather than, you know, telling them that outright you can't think this. Show them what, you know, like the kind of like a good role model of that kind of person should look like.
Absolutely. I'm now joined by Rhonda, who is a therapist. Rhonda, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
You're welcome. I'm fine, thank you.
Good, brilliant. How did it make you feel watching that VT?
Yeah, it was really interesting actually. It was really interesting to hear what people had to say about mental health and men's mental health.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting from the different age groups and different genders as well. Yeah.
Now, before I get into asking you any sort of questions, just tell us a little bit about yourself. So how long have you been a therapist? What made you want to go into therapy?
Yeah, so I've been a therapist now for about 6 or 7 years.
Wow.
I decided to train as a therapist after having therapy myself. And I found it was just life-changing for me and fascinating. And so, so I decided to change careers.
Nice. Now, sort of going on to the topic of men's mental health, why do you think there are so many men that find it just incredibly hard to come forward and say that they need help?
Yeah, I think, it's a real sad fact, isn't it, that men do struggle to come forward and to ask for help. And I think a lot of that has to do with the kind of traditional masculinity. Men are, you know, need to be strong. Boys don't cry, suppress your feelings. And I think possibly it's viewed as a sign of weakness when men ask for help.
So then, do you believe that there is a strong link between the idea of masculinity and men's mental health? Yeah,
I definitely believe there's a link between the traditional masculinity, you know, the roles, the kind of to be strong, the protector, the provider, and mental health. Yeah.
Do you think that issues facing men today are different to how they were, say, 20 years ago?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest thing between 20 years ago and today is social media.
Yeah.
And you know, the men that I work with have definitely, especially the younger men, I think it's had a huge impact on men's mental health.
Is there sort of any correlation between issues surrounding younger boys now compared to older men, or is it similar or dissimilar?
Yeah, I think you know, I think for young men, the young men that I work with, there is definitely there has been a bit of a shift about talking about feelings and emotions. I think coming through education as well. I think the men that I see that come into my practice have found it really difficult to speak about mental health and to reach out.
What do you think the biggest issues facing younger boys are now today?
Anxiety is a big thing. Social
Interesting.
anxiety is a big thing with the younger men, the younger boys that I speak to. Friendships, relationships, kind of how they're identifying now, that exploration. They're all things that we would talk about in therapy.
It's a very hard time to go through as a young boy,
Yeah.
sort of in this Western society where everything's kind of always chopping and changing. How are you supposed to kind of find your feet in that? So do you think that there is this sort of push for mental health as there should be, or is it kind of just on the back burner and no one's really talking about it still?
I think there's been a big shift for men in mental health, and I think it's brilliant to see. And I think I work in schools as well and get to speak to young boys at school, and I think there's definitely more of an opportunity for young boys to talk about how they feel. I think we've still got a long way to go, but I do think there's been a shift. Yeah.
Do you think that you could say that there is one issue that older men come to you and say, I'm struggling with this? Or is it kind of all even, or is there sort of one particular issue that you keep on hearing all the time?
I think this sense of responsibility. You know, men come into my practice for therapy. Mental health is definitely still a big thing, depression, anxiety, but this sense of responsibility to provide, to be strong, not talk about their feelings, and not feel safe enough to talk about their feelings is something I'm hearing more and more from adult men now.
What do you think could be done in the long term, say from schools or governments? What do you think should be done about mental health, particularly in men?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question, and I think, you know, from such a young age, I think for young men to have a safe space to explore their feelings. You know, there's no right or wrong feelings, and I think for feelings and emotions to be encouraged and to be explored in an environment whether that's at home, whether that's in education and in the workplace as well.
Brilliant. Rhonda, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're very welcome.
Now, if anyone would like to get in contact with Rhonda or see any other professional advice, please do reach out to us. If you or someone you know need support, please ask a loved one or professional for help. The first step is always the hardest, but once you've conquered that, your well-being is already on the right path. Thank you again for coming in, Rhonda, and thank you to everybody who assisted us in making this programme today. And remember, it's not beak to speak. Now everyone knows who man's best friend is, and studies have shown that having a dog in your life reduces stress and the feeling of loneliness, but also helps with the release of oxytocin and dopamine into the body. And I do in fact have someone here in the studio today to help me, so please welcome Odin and his handler Adam.
Hello.
Hello, how are you today?
Good, thank you very much.
How's
How are
Odin
you?
today, more importantly?
Odin is more than better.
Good. Now, Odin is actually deaf, which means that communication relies heavily on body language, eye contact and touch. This can help us to understand the male mind, as it makes us more aware of how our actions can impact others and foster presence and mindfulness. Now, Adam, is it all right if you lead a small sign language presentation, please?
Yeah, sure. I'll firstly start off with what we normally do after dinner is we normally give him a treat.
Nice.
So I would ask for his paw, for his trust, of course,
Nice.
and his other one.
Good.
And then I give him the treat.
Nice.
Then we got Good Boy. The toy one is my favourite.
Yeah.
And the toilet one, which I will not show.
Please don't demonstrate that.
Yeah.
Don't have enough toilet paper. So did you say that was the toy one? So who will respond to?
No, that's the toilet one.
The toy one, that's the toy one.
This is the playful one.
Playful. Okay, so who'll go and get that toy?
Yeah.
Wow. How old was he when you started training him?
About after like 3 or 4 months, we would.
Nice. Wait for him to grow up a little bit.
Because
Nice.
he was a pup, small
Yeah.
pup. And now look at him.
Not so small anymore,
Yeah.
it's the same size as you. Now, training and caring for a dog also requires creativity and reinforces a sense of resilience and capability, which can improve confidence and self-worth. Daily routines such as training, walking and playing provide a structure and stability, which can act as a power in the fight against depression and stress. As well as seeking professional advice, I would also encourage anyone to think about adopting a dog into their home. The benefits of having a pet are staggering, and if you really are struggling, a brilliant way to get off the ground is to give a dog a little bit of love. If you or someone you know needs support, please ask a loved one or professional for help. The first step is always the hardest, but once you've conquered that, your well-being is already on the right path. Huge thank you again to Adam and Odin for coming in, and also for Rhonda for assisting us in our Q&A. Thank you to everybody who helps in making this programme as well, and thank you for joining us today from your home. Remember, it's not weak to speak.